warm welcome to our very distinguished guests at the Embassy of Pakistan this afternoon. We have business elite from Pakistan, our diaspora notables, and key US government officials here with us today. We are honored to have the Honorable Governor Sindh Imran Ismail Sahab with us today. And to begin the proceedings, I would request the Ambassador of Pakistan to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Asad M, to give his welcome remarks.
Honorable Governor Imran Ismail Sahib, members of the business delegation from Pakistan, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome the Honorable Governor and his very distinguished business delegation and to you all to the Embassy of Pakistan. For us at the Embassy, it is indeed a great pleasure and honor to welcome a very distinguished delegation. Delegation, I would say, practically the who's who of Pakistan. And I'd also like to thank TS Global Capital Limited for organizing the Pakistan Investment Conference, of which this delegation is a part, and that conference is going to be held in New York on September 6, 2019. And this is the third such investment conference held by TS Global in the United States and United Kingdom since 2016, and we thank them for promoting Pakistan's business and investment overseas. Ladies and gentlemen, the investment summit and the delegation's visit here in DC is both timely and auspicious. This being the first business engagement between the United States and Pakistan after Prime Minister's very successful visit to Washington in July this year. Prime Minister's visit was force a reaffirmation of the importance that we attach to our relationship with the United States and its continued significance for Pakistan. And Prime Minister had a very productive and fruitful meeting with President Trump, and among other things, both leaders acknowledged that the trade and business relationship was far below its actual potential, and both agreed to work on expanding trade manifold, and to put it in President Trump's words, by 20 times. So I think you are here, and I am very hopeful that your discussions here with your counterparts in the US system would allow us and our friends here to realize what the President had set as a target for us. And for the Prime Minister, in his interactions, he emphasized that Pakistan was looking for a win-win business and trade relationship. A relationship that is free from any dependency and defined by trade, not aid. And I really need not highlight Pakistan's investment opportunities to this audience. At least it's like preaching to the choir. But I can say this to at least my US friends here, that time is of the essence, and this is really the time to look at Pakistan seriously, to explore opportunities that are available in abundance in Pakistan. And the government, the new government, which is determined to achieve new Pakistan under Prime Minister Imran Khan, places high premium and priority on improving ease of doing business, on focusing on improving productivity, enhancing competitiveness. We have Julie Conan here also. She will soon be going in as USAID's Director for Pakistan. And the other day I was there at her oath-taking ceremony also. And one of the things that we discussed was how the United States has been a very important development partner for Pakistan ever since we achieved independence. And the United States in particular has helped Pakistan with our agriculture sector, has helped us in improving our productivity in agriculture in particular, and this is one area where I think US aid can play an important role, and it really can help the businesses. And my key message to her at her own taking was that we look forward to our arrival in Pakistan. And we would really want United States to work with us in enhancing our export capacity and in increasing our productivity and competitiveness. So I really can go on, but I know that the governor and the delegation has other engagements and they may have to leave very soon. I once again welcome the delegation here. I wish you a very productive exchanges here with your business counterparts in the United States, and I also wish you a very useful and productive investment conference in New York. Thank you very much for joining us and honoring the delegation.
Thank you, Ambassador. Now I would invite Ambassador Ali Siddiqui, Ambassador at Large for Foreign Investment, to give his brief remarks.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. It's a pleasure to be back here at this embassy. I rarely in life have called things my own. I've never said I'm going to my office. I've always said I'm going to the office. But I think the first time I came back here after relinquishing office, I said I'm back at my embassy. So it's a real pleasure. I also want to note that today we have three people that have served in this embassy: Ambassador Jalani, of course, myself, and Ambassador Asad M, who is in charge now. That always puts a lot of pressure on staff, so I know what's going on in your minds. We ask lots of questions, and we roam around freely, so thank you for accommodating us always. Ambassador Wells, I want to thank you this morning for hosting this delegation and for all of your remarks. I noted all the points you made, and I'll comment on just a few of them. But you know, when you came here for the first time while I was in office on the 14th of August, in fact, before then, when we met for the first time, you said that in the State Department and in your office, we will always find Pakistan's closest friend in the US government. And you've always stood up for that, and you've always supported us, so I want to thank you. You really have been a pillar of support in our relationship, despite ups and downs, and thankfully, thanks to your efforts and your colleagues, today we have a good relationship between our countries again, and we look forward to building on that, so thank you for that. And I have to acknowledge the work of Lisa Curtis, who's been a great colleague and friend in the Security Council, and Lisa, thank you also for all the support. And Madam Conan, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've had the pleasure of working with USAID in a different capacity in the private sector. I know that your work in other areas has been noted, but I want to also note that a significant part of our energy development today is a function of USAID's support for Pakistan, both for THAR and the studies that were done there, and also for renewable energy, without which today that sector would not exist. So again, USAID's work is much appreciated, and we look forward to working with you. Now, onto this delegation. We do have luminaries from business represented here, and I know this is the third year you are here. It's a real pleasure, and I think this sort of exchange is vital in building our relationship and growing. I know that you will be seeing significant investors on Wall Street on Friday, the 6th. I know that valuations today was mentioned that the group here represents 30% of the market capitalization of the Pakistan stock market. I should have picked up on that myself, but I heard that today. And as we all know, valuations are cheap, so please go and sell your stories. We need investment, and you are the best forum to get that in. 2 or 3 points from this morning. We discussed Sept, and I just want to assure the US government there are some people here who have done this already. Khalid Mansour Saab and Bayasa, in their companies, where in fact, while CPEC is funded by China, there have been opportunities for US companies to participate. And for those of you, if you could raise your hand, and Bayasa, wherever you're sitting, there we go, you can speak with them if you want to learn more about that, but there have been in the past some opportunities where that has happened, and we look forward to developing more of those opportunities for US companies to participate in these Chinese finance projects. We also spoke to OPEC today, US IDFC, and we look forward to their support. They have been very, very strong in Pakistan in terms of renewable energy development. The comments, in particular, one of the comments they made was they will look favorably towards projects that don't have a sovereign guarantee, which I had said is music to our ears, because mostly that's what investors and lenders look for. And they made a very apt comment, which was that the more sovereign guarantees that are issued, the less they're worth. So they have a very commercial mind, and we look forward to working with them in developing all of those projects. And finally, I'll make a note about something that was said this morning about FATF. We, as the government, we have an immense commitment to FATF. There are several bankers in this delegation, CEOs of major banks and other financial institutions, and they will tell you that the government has a very, very strong commitment to enforcement, which is the major item that the US government has always encouraged us to pursue, and also what the FATF working group has asked us to pursue. So today, just a few days ago, there were some enforcement actions that were public, and you can hear from them about the work that the government is doing in making sure the compliance is there, but also the enforcement. So we are deeply, deeply committed to that. And with that, I would just like to close on thanking the Governor, Imran Ismail Sahab, who has taken time out from his schedule to be here and support this delegation, and we look forward to your support in the future also. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. We are pleased to have the Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asia, Ambassador Alice Wells, with us, and I invite her.
I'm not the last one between you and lunch, so I don't feel as bad. I want to invite, just thank everyone for attending, the delegation members for traveling here to the United States, the business representatives here. This is an extraordinary delegation. Governor, your investment of time sends a very strong signal and seriousness of intent by the government of Pakistan. For all the ambassadors in Pakistan who are here today, thank you for your support and energy in rebuilding this very important relationship. And what I'd like to echo from what Ambassador Khan said is that it's clear that we have a green light to build out our trade and investment relationship. The rapport, the warmth of the meeting between the President and Prime Minister Khan was evident, and the President is excited and has huge ambitions for this trade relationship. So we have our marching orders. Really the question is, how do we march forward? It's not the lack of will, it's going to be really identifying the challenges and the opportunities that we need to tackle together, building on what has been a healthy, growing, what is now a $7 billion bilateral trade relationship. But $7 billion doesn't reflect our economies, it doesn't reflect our demography. There's much more that we need to do. So when I met the delegation this morning, what I really have put forward is the idea of identifying a roadmap. Like, what are the specific issues that we can target, that we can take up, that we can work on over the course of the next 6-9 months, so that we have tangibles, so that when we meet together at a higher level, we're actually putting on the table real accomplishments, real investments, real business. And I think that we're able to take advantage of our USAID director, Julie Conan, and the programs that we have invested in over the many decades that we've been involved in Pakistan. We have a strong basis of cooperation and support on regulatory reform, on sector reform, on business environment. And so we're not starting from scratch, and it's how do we build on what we have so that we can get from what was a much more traditional aid relationship to the trade relationship that we all desire. And I think when, and we were able to harness what have been the remarkable commitments by your government, both under FATF and under the IMF program, to undertake, sweeping reforms that are sometimes difficult but are extremely necessary. And so the documenting of the economy, the systemic reforms that address some of the energy, circular debt, all of the issues that you're very well aware of. This is going to also provide some structure and discipline to how we work together, which we welcome and we want to take advantage of. Just quickly, I would say this administration in the region came in with two strategies that are very advantageous to Pakistan. And the first strategy, people don't realize it. It's the Indo-Pacific strategy. And my Pakistani friends get hung up on Indo-Pacific as if it's an exclusionary strategy. And what I would say to you is that it's regionally bound, but global application. What the administration is espousing is free and open, trade and commerce. It's espousing the highest possible standards of business, that infrastructure development be done with sustainable lending, with the highest standards, in a manner that benefits the individuals of the country as well as the investors. And that's what Pakistan, I think, wants, that's what Pakistan deserves, and that's what our companies bring. So the United States leads with its private sector. I never walk into a room, sadly, with a state-owned enterprise, ready to pony up to a deal. What I can unlock, and what we want to unlock, is the tremendous entrepreneurism and risk-taking and capital of our private sector. And this is a particularly excellent time to be thinking in these terms because of the global changes we're seeing in the market and the de-risking that's taking place. There are real opportunities for Pakistan to reassert itself in a global supply chain. And so use the Development Finance Corporation, the successor to OPIC, use TDA, use the tools that America has to engage with your private sector, and let's get big projects on the board. Second, I would say the South Asia strategy has created the foundation for this new partnership between us. We are working together for peace, and that on its own has given us, I think, the diplomatic running room for us to create between our president and prime minister a much better relationship, a strategic way forward. But beyond that, it also potentially brings us peace in the region and peace in Afghanistan, and that's a game changer. And so I welcomed already the opening of the Torkham border 24/7. Pakistan should be Afghanistan's greatest trading partner. There should be natural connectivity between these two countries. You should help stitch Afghanistan back into the neighborhood. We should all take advantage of the opening of Uzbekistan, and the infrastructure linkages that are taking place, the projects like CASA 1000 and TAPI that have been long promised but not yet delivered on. And so through working together on peace in Afghanistan, we're tangibly creating, I think, the environment for us to achieve much more for the entire region, not just Pakistan. So finally, my final point is, major American companies are in Pakistan. The interest is there. Your market is huge. You're very attractive. But how do we make Pakistan attractive to medium-sized enterprises? How do we make Pakistan attractive to those who haven't thought in terms of South Asia before? That's really the challenge before us. And so I want to end where Ambassador Siddiqui and Ambassador Khan emphasized, is that the State Department is your friend, the NSC is your friend. We are partners here in trying to figure out how to create a dynamic, sustainable, enduring strategic partnership, and that's our commitment. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador Wells. Finally, it is my honor to invite our Chief Guest, Honorable Imran Ismail, Governor of Sindh Province, to give his speech on us.
Thank you. So I'm the bad guy here, doing the lunch. I am very grateful and thankful to Ambassador of Pakistan he has hosted this lunch for us, and I'm grateful to the people who traveled with me, and I'm grateful to Ambassador Alice, Julian, and Miss, I just met, sorry, Lisa. Miss Lisa. This group traveling to US from Pakistan is very hopeful to improve the trade ties between the two countries. And this is the basic reason for us to be here in the US. And I believe that we have very fruitful meetings today. We have some more meetings to come tomorrow. And then we will definitely get what we are here for. The fundamental issue of Pakistan is that we were engaged in war on terror. And this is a great time for Pakistan and the US to come closer like we used to be in early 70s or late 70s. And US being friend of Pakistan, Pakistan look upon US. And US has always been there for Pakistan. So developing these trade ties will bring us even closer, and both countries will benefit from it. Pakistan market has a big opening, and we were just discussing about one product from importing from US is soybean, which the Pakistani market is very excited about it, and there is a gap. The gap is not because of closure or shutdown from soybean imports from India, but even then, if we add up to that what we import from US and India, there is still a gap in the Pakistan market. So there's a great opportunity. We are looking forward to it. Pakistan has a lot more to offer to US, and inshallah, in the time to come, we will slowly and gradually cross that bridge, and this 7 billion would go in no time to 14 billion. That's the target for our government in the next 5 years. I thank you very much. The lunch is ready. I think I should announce lunch before somebody else. Thank you so much.
Just quickly, the governor would like to have this souvenir for Ambassador as well.
Sorry, very bad.
And USA Mission Director is waiting for it.